Hello everybody, my name is Jacqueline. I'll be teaching psychology to you. And today's unit is 6th unit, that is intelligence. In this chapter, I'll be teaching about meaning of intelligence, definition, classification, measurement, uses, characteristics of an ideal intelligent person, individual difference in intelligence, nature of intelligence, development of intelligence, assessment of intelligence. So these all comes under intelligence topic. Okay, now we'll see what is the meaning and definition of intelligence. The meaning of intelligence is, the word intelligence derived from the Latin nouns intelligentsia or intellectus, which means perceive knowledge. Perceive knowledge means you are acquiring knowledge. The definition of intelligence is the ability to understand and overcome difficulties. That means you are understanding and you are overcoming the difficulties. Difficulties can be any problems, any hurdles, or any tough situations. You will understand that and you will try to overcome it by using your brain. That is what intelligence means. According to Terman is a scientist. According to Terman, intelligence is the ability to carry on abstract thinking. Abstract thinking means existing knowledge, which you already have a existing knowledge. Based on that one, you will carry on thinking. Okay, while existing knowledge will help in overcoming the coming situation or the present situation. That is what Terman explains the intelligence about. Next topic is Terman's classification of intelligence. As you can see in the slide, there are two divisions. First division is IQ range and the second division is distribution. Terman classified into two categories where he will be observing the IQ. IQ is the quotient. So before explaining this one, I'll tell you what is IQ. IQ is intelligent quotient. Intelligent quotient. I'll tell you what is intelligent quotient. Intelligent quotient is the ratio between mental age and chronological age of a person. Mental age is how the capacity of the mental has been aged according to the year of the person. Year means how old the person is. Chronological age is his birth age. Okay, birth age we are calculating by mental age and we are multiplying it by 100. Intelligent quotient is, I'll tell you again, it is the ratio between mental age and chronological age. Then the IQ is calculated, that is measurement of intelligence. It has been calculated by IQ is equals to MA divided by CA. That is intelligent quotient is mental age divided by chronological age multiplied by 100. Example, later I'll explain what is the example of IQ. First I'll tell you what is classification. In classification, see, he has distributed in distribution table where it start the normal range, the center you can see, that is the normal range, normal to higher superior level, and below it is written as mentally retarded person. And in IQ range, after calculation what the product you are getting, that range he has given here. The normal thing is the IQ, if the IQ is 100, the person is normal. That means his intellectual range is normal. If the person is around 100, then the person is average, or you can also call it as normal person. His intellectual power is normal. As you can see from first IQ range is 130 and above. If the person's IQ is 130 and above, then the person's intellectual power is, he is very superior. That means his intellectual power is very superior. The second one is 120 and 129. That means the range between 120 and 129, the person's intellectual range is 120 to 129, then his intellectual power is superior. The third one is 110 to 119. If the person's IQ range is 110 to 119, then the person's IQ, the person's intelligence level is bright. The student or the person is bright. If the person's intellectual power is, that is IQ range is 90 to 109, then the person is normal. This is the range where most of the people are considered. This is average, as well as you can also call it as normal. 90 to 109. The range between 90 to 109 is normal. Most of the people are comes under this range. The next one is 80 to 89. These people are dull. Dull means their IQ is little lower than the normal. Then next comes is 70 to 79. People who are in 70 to 79 range, they are in borderline. Borderline means they are in the end state. That is the corner or margin of the distribution table, where if they cross that or if they come below the borderline, they are considered as mentally retarded person. Mentally retarded person are who are having psychiatric problem. Okay, and those are who comes under 70 below. Okay, those who comes under 70 below are considered as whose intellectual power is mentally retarded. That means they are having zero intelligence and they are mentally retarded. And here I have already explained what is IQ. I'll give an example. An example is, see, if a child's age is 6 years, that is chronological age 6 years, and his mental age is 6. Okay, his mental age is 6. So what we'll do, first we'll take mental age 6 divided by his chronological age 6 multiplied by 100. If you multiply this by 100, you will get an answer as 100, because 8 and 8 you are calculating divided by 1, and then 1 into 100 is 100. If the person's IQ is 100, that means the person is normal according to Terman's classification of intelligence. So this finishes classification and measurement of intelligence. Next we'll see the uses of intelligence. The use of intelligence are why or how it is necessary being intelligent or the intelligence. First uses for the selection purpose. Selection means when you are having multiple options and which is necessary for you, you will select it. How do you select? By using your intelligence. Second one is promotion. Promotion, it can be health, wealth, status, anything. If you are promoting means you are going to a higher level. If you want to go to a higher level, if your intelligence is good, or if you are intelligent enough, that means you will get a good promotion. The next one is research. For research purpose, if you are intelligent enough, you will analyze and you are capable of doing a research. The next one is for guidance purpose. Guidance is you are helping the other person to guide. You are helping the other person to choose option also. You are not only your intellectual power is not only helping you, but it helps the other person also by you are advising the other person to select within so many options. You are guiding the other person. The next one is for learning. Learning means there are different categories of learning. In learning, you can do many different departments. From those departments, if you are intelligent enough, then you will tend to move forward and you will learn more and more in your life. And the next one is for diagnostic purpose. Diagnostic purpose by means in medical field, to find out or to draw a line between what is being done by seeing the symptoms, the doctor will assign diagnosis. According to the diagnosis, what does the nurse do? The nurse will, we are all nursing, so in nursing what we do, we are going to do the nursing diagnosis. Nursing diagnosis is done by nurse herself or himself. To do this one, if you are intelligent enough, then this intelligent it is used for you as a diagnostic purpose. The last one is for intelligence test. Intelligence test, I will teach you in the last, that is how the intelligence test has been done, how good your IQ is, or by attending so many different tests, how can we calculate your intelligence. By having intelligence you can succeed more, so these tests you can pass through it. So these are the uses of intelligence. Next we will see the characteristics of an ideal intelligent person. The characteristics are, here what they are saying is, if the person is intelligent, if an individual person is intelligent enough, what can be his characteristics? That means what are the characteristics an normal intelligent person are having. Okay, those topics comes under this one. First one is displays good vocabulary. Vocabulary is how you use grammar, how you use good pronunciation, how do you talk to other people, how do you communicate. So this one, it displays, if you are intelligent enough, you display good vocabulary. The next one is display curiosity. Curiosity means being energetic, being very keen to know the other stuff which is unknown to you. So if you're intelligent, you have curiosity to know new things. The next one is take good decision. See, in previous topic we studied uses. First uses, it is used for selection purpose. Similar to that, if you are good in selection, that means you are good in selection, that means you are capable of doing good decisions also. The fourth characteristic is it determines how to achieve goals. And then the next one is awareness of world around them. If you are intelligent enough, that means you will know what is going on. You are oriented to the time, place, area and your surroundings, what you are, where you are. You will analyze the situation if you are intelligent. The next one is ability to adjust with environment. See, whatever environment you go, you cannot expect that it will be very comfortable. Some environment will be like you have to get adjusted, or some environment that will be comfortable for you. So what you have to do, if you are intelligent, you will adjust with the environment by using what you can alter yourself, or how you can alter the environment, how you can get along with each other. That is how you adjust with the environment. The next one is solve problem independently. If you are intelligent, if your IQ is good, you will solve your problems by yourself. Next one is time consumes. Here, if you are intelligent enough, you will try to finish the work as soon as possible. You will not struggle much. Okay. And the next one is ability to use one's own experience. If you are intelligent enough, what you'll do? You are using your own experience and you are using it in another situation. That means you are having ability to do or to use your own experience. The next one is ability to use others' experience also. Here what you're doing, you are taking other person's point of view, their experience, you are sharing their, if you are sharing your experience, you are accepting their experience also. You will analyze it by using your intellect and overcome the solution. So these are the characteristics of an ideally intelligent person. Next we'll see individual difference in intelligence. The individual differ from person to person. Here this word means every individual are different from each other. Okay, that is what they're saying. Individual differ from person to person in amount of quality of intelligence. That means every person's intellectual power differ from each other. Okay. The next one is the difference are resulted from one's or more than the following factors. The following factors have been listed below. Among these factors, these are the factors where an individual's intellectual powers are differentiated, or it differs from person to person. How it differs? Because of these reasons. First reason is heredity. Heredity is how the intellectual power has been by your parents, grandparents or their forefathers. What is their IQ? According to that one also, even your IQ can also be dependent. The next one is health state, that is physical health. Physical health also plays major role, because if your physical health is not proper, then your intellectual power also can affect because of its consequences or interrelation between the brain and the physical health. So these are all comes in the part of physical health. The next one is environment. See, environment also plays another role, because the place where you are living, what your environment is, that directly is proportional to how intelligent you are or how it affects. Okay, the next one is gender difference. Gender difference is how the male and female's IQ are dependent. See, when it comes to female, most of them are, they work at home also, they work at their workplace and they read for themselves and they have to do their own work. And when it comes to male, they have to look after the family. They are considered, most of the houses, they are considered as breadwinner of the family. So they have their own independent roles. Based on their roles and by intelligent power, that means how their IQ is, that is interrelated. So gender differences also comes under this intelligence. And the next one is ability. Ability is individual's ability differs, as we already studied in the first line, that is individual differ from person to person. So their ability or the capacity also differs. If one person is having good capacity to study or to perceive knowledge, the other person we cannot expect will be the same. Example, students in a classroom, we cannot expect all the students to score very good marks. We cannot expect all the students to study well, because their capacity or their capability to acquire knowledge differs. So when this differs, their IQ also differs. So ability, aptitude is their capacity in gaining knowledge, so that also differs. Then achievement, this achievement is gaining, or what goals they have set, gaining. To gain that goal, we call it as achievement. If they are gaining what they have set, the goal is also achievement. This achievement also plays another role in differentiating intelligence by one person to another person. See, in the first topic I had told you, heredity. Heredity, it differs from infancy to childhood, and from child to young adult, and then from young adult to older age. This is how the intelligence also differs. Okay, so this finishes individuals' difference in intelligence. The next one is nature of intelligence. Nature of intelligence is divided mainly into three kinds. That is, three types of intelligence are there according to the nature. First one is mechanical intelligence, second one social intelligence, third one abstract intelligence. First we'll see what is mechanical intelligence. Mechanical intelligence, it is the skill to manipulate tools and gadgets and managing the working of machineries. People whose intellectual is interested more towards mechanical, means mechanical intelligence is those who are very much interested in manipulating. Manipulating means using or working with the tools, gadgets, machines, and how to manage them, how to manipulate them, how to fix them, or how to run them by using your brain. That kind of intelligence is called as mechanical intelligence. Next one is social intelligence. Social intelligence refers to efficiency in getting on well in person and social relationship. In this type of intelligence, it mainly says is how the person well he is in a society. We are living, a human is a social animal. That means we are supposed to live in society. In society, how good the person is, or how well the person's character is, and then how good his relationship or social relationship, means from one person to another society person, how they are mingling, or how he responds to his society. That he will use his intelligence power, and he will gain a good personality in his social surrounding. So that is social intelligence. The third one is abstract or general intelligence. This intelligence is ability to handle work, numbers, formula, and scientific principles. This is one kind of this is very common type of intelligence, where most of us or most of the individuals come under this category, where we are capable of handling the work. Handling the work means what work we have been given or what work we have assigned it, we will do the work and we know how to handle the work, and then how we calculate the numbers, and how we use the formula, how to use the formula, and how do we solve in a simplified manner. And then by using scientific principles, means we are using scientific examples, and we are reasoning, or we are giving reason behind the scientific thing what we are doing. These are all, by using all this comes under what and all the people uses these categories are considered as general intelligence, or you can also call it as abstract intelligence. So this finishes your nature of intelligence. I'll just conclude it. Nature of intelligence, it is mainly divided into three kinds. First one mechanical intelligence, second one social intelligence, third one abstract or general intelligence. Next we'll move on to development of intelligence. Development of intelligence means how your intellectual power is being improving, or how it is being developed. That topic we'll learn under this heading. First we'll see what is intelligence. Is an innate mental ability. Innate means within yourself. Innate mental ability which grows with age, from infancy to maturity, from childhood. From childhood to the adulthood, what you're doing, your infancy is being matured. That means intelligence is being your own. That means by your own. Innate means within yourself, your mental capacity is growing. How it is growing? From infancy, that means from after birth, that is infancy. from that age till your old age, how you mature your brain. First we'll see what is it. First one is growth. Growth one is how your growth has been taking place. From the growth also, that means from your infancy it grows, and next from childhood to young adult it grows, and then from young adult to older adult your intelligent power is improving. How? From your childhood till your old age your IQ is being improving. Okay. The next one is past experience. See, based on your past experience, if you have faced a situation and that situation you have learned something. If you have learned something, the next situation also you are going to use that experience. Why you are using? Because you are intelligent. Okay, so you that situation's intelligence you are accepting, and in your next experience you are putting the same effort, or you can improve that effort and you can put it. So this is how your intelligence also is being growing, or it is being developed. Next one is solving problems and facing hurdles. Hurdles means difficulties. By solving many problems and facing through the difficulties in your life, you will gain intelligence. Next one is next one is social environment. Your social environment, how your environment is, how it is being teaching you, what are the new things you learn from your environment also is related to how your intelligence is being developed. Next one is family. By family, what do you gain? By family, you will gain the intelligent power, how to adjust, how to run a family, what are the relationships in your family is having, what are the new things, what are the conditions, etc. You will learn from your family. The next one is development of brain and nervous system. As your brain and nervous system also develops, your intelligence capacity also develops. Okay. And the next one is good physical health. As I already told you, if you are having a good health, your intelligence also will be in a good state. Next one is fellowmen. Fellowmen is how good your interpersonal relationship with the other person and your surrounding and with the seniors, juniors, or any other people. So how well you are communicated, you will gain knowledge from everybody around you. So this is how you develop your intelligence. These are the points how you develop the intelligence. Next is assessment of intelligence. Assessment means you are checking, or how an individual is being assessed or checked or being measured of his intelligence. Intellectual power can be measured or assessed by two major categories. First category is individual test and the other category is group tests. Individual test is only for one person a test is given, or only one person's intelligence is being tested. And the second one is group test. Group test means in a group there will be more than 5 or many, or example I can give you as a class. A class is a group where many students are there. So many students are considered as one group. So one whole groups together we are testing their intellectual power. So by that tests are called as group tests. So first test is individual tests and the other one is group tests. Again individual and group tests have been subdivided into verbal tests and non-verbal tests. We'll see what is verbal test and non-verbal test. Verbal tests, as you can see in the first column, that is verbal tests. Verbal tests are information, comprehension, reasoning, similarities, vocabularies, memory. In verbal tests, we are going to test an individual person's intellectual by how good the person know the information, or how comprehension he is being, and then how good the reason he is giving. Every scientific problem or any particular problems, there should be a reason behind it. If you are solving a problem, there should be a base reason for it, how the solution came from. So that is how you are reasoning it. Next one is similarities. What similarities you can gain, or how similar your intelligence is from the actual content, subject, or an object.